Hello and welcome to my latest lesson, which is all about something called carrier nouns and how you can use it in your IELTS writing. In this lesson, you're going to learn what carrier nouns actually are and how you can use carrier nouns in your writing. One of the 4 assessment criteria in IELTS writing is called coherence and cohesion. It's one of the 4 assessment criteria, along with task response, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Coherence is concerned with the way that you organize your ideas. Cohesion is the way that you connect your ideas. And there are many ways to create cohesion in your writing. One of the most commonly used is transition signals. You probably use these a lot in your writing. Words or phrases like firstly, on the one hand, on the other hand, for example, for instance, in conclusion. There are lots of transition signals that you can use. However, to get a high band score in IELTS writing, you need to use a variety of cohesive devices. So you cannot just use transition signals. You can also use something called referencing. For example, words like this, these, it, he, she, they, them. You can also use synonyms, but these can be quite difficult to use in your writing. You may have to write, for example, the word school in an essay about education. A lot of test takers will then try to think of a synonym for a word like school, and they'll write things like educational institution. But it takes time to do that. To make things easier, you can use something called carrier nouns, and that's what this lesson is all about. So it's one of the many types of cohesive device that you can use. And I hope this lesson will encourage you to use carrier nouns. So what are carrier nouns? They're very powerful words, and they summarize an idea in a general way. And this makes them useful for writing for 2 main reasons. First of all, they help you to avoid repeating the same vocabulary, the same words and phrases. And secondly, they help you to link back to a specific idea that you mentioned before in the previous sentence, or sometimes even after. I'll show you some examples of what I mean later on. And they're called carrier nouns because, well, basically they're nouns which can carry or contain lots of different ideas. Just like a box can be used to carry lots of different groceries, a carrier noun can contain lots of different ideas. So, for example, here is one carrier noun which you probably used in your writing already. It's problem, the word problem. But you can use this word to summarize or to reword different types of problems. So the word problem can contain global warming, obesity, poverty, inequality, and crime. These are all problems, but you can summarize all of these different ideas with the one word problem. So let's look at some examples now of sentences which use carrier nouns. So here's one sentence. Some people watch too much TV, but watching too much TV can create problems. Now, obviously, you do not want to write a sentence like this because it reuses the same words. So you've got watch too much TV in the first clause and watching too much TV in the second clause. You don't really want to repeat the same vocabulary. One way of avoiding the repetition is by using referencing. Some people watch too much TV, but it can create problems, and that's a perfectly good piece of writing. Alternatively, you can use synonyms. For example, some people watch too much TV, But viewing too many TV programs can create problems. So what I've done here is I've changed the word watching to viewing. And instead of writing much TV, I've written many TV programs. And this is the kind of writing that lots of test takers do in the IELTS writing test. They will stop writing and think, what's the synonym of watch, look at, view? And they go through different words, different synonyms for the word what. Now that takes time, takes thinking as well. So that's quite a tricky thing to do. Fortunately, you can use a carrier noun like this. Some people watch too much TV, but this habit can create problems. The carrier noun habit summarizes the idea of watching too much TV with a single word. You could also use a word like activity. So watching too much TV on a regular basis is a habit. So that's why you can use the word habit instead of watch too much TV. So using the word habit achieves two great things. It means we can avoid repeating the phrase, watch too much TV, and it also creates a link back to the more specific idea, watch too much TV. So this improves cohesion, makes the link between the two halves of the sentence much clearer for your reader. Here's another sentence. More people are doing their shopping online. Doing shopping online has led to the decline of independent shops in many town centres. And of course it repeats the phrase, doing their shopping online, almost exactly. You don't want to repeat the same vocabulary over and over again. So one way of avoiding that repetition is to use referencing. So you would write, while people are doing their shopping online, it has led to the decline of independent shops in many town centres. Or you could use synonyms, which is what a lot of test takers will do. That means you would have to stop writing and think, how do I rewrite or reword the phrase doing their shopping online? So you might come up with a phrase like making purchases on the internet. So more people are doing their shopping online. Making purchases on the internet has led to the decline of independent shops in many town centres. But that does take time. So instead, you can use a carrier noun. What carrier noun do you think could replace the phrase more people are doing their shopping online? You could say an activity. You could even use the word habit. I'm going to use the word trend. This trend. Trend usually describes a change in the way that lots of people do something. So lots of people, a large part of the population, are doing their shopping online. So we can call it a trend. It's a change that's happened. So again, by using a carrier noun, we can avoid repeating the same vocabulary while also improving the cohesion of our writing, because it's clear that this trend is referring back to doing their shopping online. So it creates a clear link in your writing. So now what we're going to do is look at some example sentences, some more example sentences of how you can use carrier nouns in your writing. One very useful carrier noun is the word activity. Activity. And here's a sentence. Reading for fun should be encouraged at school because it is an activity that can make you happier and more relaxed. So here we have the carrier noun activity. And what's the activity it's referring to? Well, it's this, reading for fun. This is an activity. So reading for fun should be encouraged at school because it is an activity that can make you happier and more relaxed. Here's another one. Here's another carrier noun, change. Many people switch to a healthier diet to improve their well-being. Such a change can significantly impact one's health. Change is the carrier noun. What is the change it's referring to in the first sentence, do you think? It's switch to a healthier diet. So this is the change it's referring to. Here's another carrier noun, development. Urban areas are expanding their public transportation networks. Such a development can greatly reduce traffic congestion and pollution. So the carrier noun is development. What's the development it's referring to? It is expanding their public transportation networks. So again, it helps you refer back to the development without repeating the same words. You could simply use a carrier noun to create that link. Here's another very useful carrier noun, habit. Many people read before bed. This habit aids in relaxation and improves sleep quality. So the carrier noun is habit. What's the habit it's referring to? Reading before bed. So again, instead of having to think about how to rewrite read before bed with different words, which is really tricky to do, you can use the carrier noun simply to summarize this idea. Here's another one, problem. Very useful carrier noun in IELTS. Big cities often have too much traffic. Good public transport can help solve this problem. So there is the carrier noun, and the problem it's referring to from the first part of the sentence is too much traffic congestion. So that's another very good use of a carrier noun. Helps you rewrite words and create clear link in your writing. Situation is another carrier noun. Many cities are facing traffic problems. This situation makes daily commuting difficult for residents. So here's the carrier noun. And what is the situation that it's referring to? Traffic problems. So it creates, again, that link very clearly. Tendency. Tendency is another carrier noun. Many people always check their phones first thing in the morning. This tendency can affect their productivity throughout the day. So tendency refers back to this. Always check their phones first thing in the morning. I know this is something that I do. I tend to check my phone first thing in the morning. So that's a tendency there. And here is a more complete list of carrier nouns. Activity, approach, category, challenge, change, characteristic, development, difficulty, effect, event, fact, factor, feature, habit, idea, method, problem, process, situation, solution, stage, tendency, trend, type, and view. So there you are. Those are the carrier nouns that I'd like to introduce you to, and I hope that will be useful to improve cohesion in your writing. Good luck.